Hi there, folks. Good afternoon from Dhaka, Bangladesh. It's around 2 p.m. here in Dhaka. I am not in a very good mood because we have started experiencing serious power failure in our country for a couple of days now, 3 to 4 times every day for 1 hour, no power absolutely. It's just horrible, because you wake up with heat because very hot and humid outside. We're expecting a storm and all that. I'll start a review, but I just want to give you a heads up. It's become very difficult to work. Moment you sit for doing something, suddenly power out, blackout. Just absolutely. There's just we don't have any say, no rights, nothing. So yeah, we're experiencing that in Bangladesh. So the work is being very difficult to. I'm pretty sure it's just for me. I'm staying at home, but people imagine working at office here and there, schools, institutions, outdoors. Imagine no power. So hot and humid conditions and combination of these traffic jam. It's a horrible situation. We are bracing ourselves for very tough times ahead. I'm pretty sure we're going to gonna see some serious disasters. So I still want to do the video because I have other things to do. I have a few orders that I have to process and all that, so I have to go. But in the meantime, I couldn't sleep. I had to wake up several times. If you wake up, your sleep is just gone. So yeah, not in a good mood, but I'll still do the reviews. So the review today, first one I'm going to start with is a very simple fragrance, which is my signature scent in a way from back in the days. You can see from title, I'm going to be talking about the old batches of Hugo Boss bottled. I did this review in Malaysia 2016 from my home over there in Kuala Lumpur, and I had an older style bottle, but nowadays the bottles, the formulation changed a little bit, and there are a few variation of this fragrance, the EDT intense, EDP, EDP intense, EDP intense, and then they also have the Hugo Boss bottle EDP. It's a different fragrance. So I have just recently got in my arsenal this one, the older batch back. So I want to compare a little bit what were the differences, like what we enjoyed back then, and how is it different from the current formulation of Hugo Boss bottle. Sadly, I don't have the box for the new formulation. I have the bottles, but I'll show you. I'll start with this. Just now I showed you this bottle, right? It looks like this. Oh man, it becomes difficult to show. Oh wait, let's see if I can put yeah, maybe you can see now. Yeah, this is the old style box. Okay, you can Google it, you can find. And then these are the new style boxes. Okay, it's all ash color. There's no dark shades. If you put them side by side, you'll see the difference. There is this difference. Here's a bit dark. That one, the new one, they don't have. It's just this colored box and stuff. Bottles don't change so much. Juice color and all that I'll show you. So basically, I have bought a 50 ml from the of this. This is my vintage batch. Now I can't call this vintage. It's not the first formulation, I guess, but back in the days, I'm wearing this on my hand. Let me do a fresh spray. And then I do have, where's my other bottle? I'm using this as the new bottle. This is like 100 ml side by side. So this is the newer batch. So I'll spray from here on my right hand. Okay. Um, I also have a backup, my massive 200 ml, because I love this fragrance so much. And side by side, let me also show you Boss Bottle EDP Intense. This is discontinued, very hard to find, very expensive. So I'll talk about all these. Okay, so if you're a fan of Boss Bottled or Hugo Boss in general, you can watch this. Okay, but more or less, you're not gonna find like apple and oranges here. It's going to be like apples, which is Hugo Boss bottled, but there are a little bit changes in formulation from back in the time until now. So you guys know, first thing I'll tell you, you guys know every company does this. More or less, it's a practice that fragrance is released, it's its original form. After 2 years or so, they reformulate the fragrance and they water down the stuff, and the prices sometimes can go high. Okay, and it's a practice done by almost all brands. It's a sad thing because you're paying more to get less afterwards. So if you're lucky, you get the first formulation backup bottles to serve you well. But if you cannot find it, you have to find the reformulated version. Like let's say Ultra Male was a good fragrance. After reformulation, weaker. But then now it's being hard to find in our area. So just an example. So Boss bottle basically was about citruses, apples, cinnamon, a little bit of oak moss, they say woody, and I think a little bit of vetiver or something like that. But mostly what I got from Boss bottle was a sweetness, very pleasant masculine smell. It's a sweet, fresh, kind of like similar to YSL Loam, that sort of vibe. It's a very masculine smell. My father used it back in the days. I used it. I had a small 30 ml, 50 ml, 100 ml. I used multiple bottles. But this fragrance, like for me, was not a whole day kind of fragrance, because in the high heat, this fragrance was not applicable. So I'll tell you which one you can wear, the new batches you can wear in high heat, because they're more citrusy. So The main idea was spice, cinnamon, apple, and they made a lot of flankers. I have done my Boss bottle line talk. You can check out. They have oud, they have tonic, many other night. But Boss bottle remained the original one, remained the top seller. Anywhere you go, if you find a Hugo Boss bottled counter, you'll see the big bottle is always gonna be Boss bottle. People will ask for it, backup bottle over and over. People buy like Armani Code, Boss bottle, Lamal. These were the big fragrances. So I enjoyed. Let's talk about the old formulation. This one, I enjoyed it so much because I remember it was like not all there, but 4 to 5 hours. I could smell it, but after that, the high heat would kill the fragrance. But ideally, Boss bottle was made for fall, like mild cold weather, the weather transitioning from hot weathers to cool weathers. That's the time you can wear this. In the even the winter, you could wear it. But it was not a room filler, or it was perhaps, but the older formulation, the very first batches are very strong. But maybe you would get like 7 to 8 hours, like for the first on the first batches. But after like 1 to 2 years, like the Boss bottle used to be like I used to get 4 to 5 hours. But if it's colder condition, you could get like 6 7 hours. That was the Boss bottle sense strength. So people would wear that as a masculine scent, like everyday scent, signature scent, a dating scenario, whatever. But Boss bottle became very, very popular and common. Everybody would smell like this anywhere you go, either Daniel Desire Red or this one or Lamal. Everybody's wearing the same fragrance. That did not actually do any harm to this fragrance because it's still sold. I saw in Malaysia people buy this like hotcake. So I wear this a lot. My signature scent back in the days. My journey started with it. So I'll tell you what happened. So the older formulation is so much sweeter. Okay, I'll tell you the apple note is so much more prominent. The cinnamon is so much more prominent. The citruses are there, but you get like a more sweeter, more rich, almost like golden apples from this. That is the strength of Boss bottle, the old version. If you can find this, there are a lot of fakes of it. If you see this box, only buy from legit sources. A lot of shops I saw, they have this box, but inside totally different juice. They say the top note is gone, blah blah. But actually, what happened is this fragrance is fake. So I got this from Fragrantica Bangladesh recently. They bought I think 2 bottles or so. I immediately grabbed it, and this fragrance is worth so much more money than I paid for. But I'm not gonna let this go. I'm gonna use it on special occasion only. So you get heavy apples and beautiful cinnamon. It's in original glorious form. Beautiful. I get like again that I'm getting the 5 hours mark from it. Wearing it like 5 6 sprays. But ideally, this is for colder weather, high heat. It will not withstand. In the AC room, yes, you can smell a person like wow, it's like a boss or like boss, like a people with good taste wear this very masculine, handsome kind of like a respected guy. This is what Boss bottle for me did. So I could not find any older batches, so I started using the newer batches. That one I showed you, the whole silver box, and this is not bad. I have this on, but it's lighter. Okay, and when I say lighter, it is the same fragrance. Okay, ideally, it's the same fragrance. Smells the DNA is the identical vibe, but it feels like I'm not sure if we can show you the juice color difference. I don't know if there is any, but perhaps in my mind it's a little bit darker in the old one, but it's all yellow. But if you see it side by side, let me show you with the Boss bottle EDP intense. Yeah, there's difference. This is so much darker than EDT. Okay, so I will talk about that later. But what the Boss bottle new one did, it still has a very similar cylindrical bottles. That cap is the plastic cap. Nice. I like the big Boss on the bottle. It's very beautiful. So these are standard bottles, and I get like a lighter. Everything's less. It's like more watery version of Boss bottle. So it did two things. One thing good, it's wearable in summer now. It's not as sweet as the previous version of cinnamony, more spiced up apple. This is like the new one. It's a little bit watery, so it's kind of almost like a citrusy Boss bottle. Okay, so it's very similar to Boss bottle tonic. Okay, if you know that fragrance, it's almost like the same fragrance. That one is a little bit blue. This one is a little bit like warm golden, like Jaguar. I think Jaguar Gold. That one is similar to this. Also, I find wait, there's one more fragrance, Boss bottle line. Forgot that one. There's a tonic. There's a deep blue one. Hold on, let me get that. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes if I don't show visually, sometimes it's difficult for you to understand which one I'm talking about. So I was talking about Boss bottle tonic. This one I get a lot of vibes of the current Boss bottle. It's similar, but it's just more fresh and you can say ozonic version of Boss bottle. But I was talking about this just now. It's Boss bottle Infinite, my favorite flanker from this line. So much darker, beautiful. It's got olive and few other notes. It's very interesting. Very interesting. You can definitely wear this as a signature scent. But when I'm talking about Boss bottle, coming back to this version EDT, it's a good fragrance still, and you can wear this for summer. It's so much more citrusy, a little bit less sweet, and I think it does not last as much. It lasts about 3 hours and a half. Okay, so there is definitely power difference of 2 hours, like performance, right? So this one you get the current formulation, that kind of performance. So solution is what I told you. I got a massive 200 ml. Just go over spray. Like, this fragrance is not like gone in 1 hour. If you go like 7 to 8 sprays, it will perform like the older version. People will smell you. It's just that the whole overall smell from the old one to new one is a little bit less sweet and a little bit less intense. Okay. So now talking about the main one. Okay. Here is the Boss Bottle EDP Intense. If you can find this, the EDP Intense I haven't tried, but EDP Intense, if you can find, get 5-10 bottles back up. Doesn't matter, like if it's expensive. If you like Boss Bottle, this is the ultimate solution. I like this. I love this a lot. This is like Durham Intense level for me. Okay. It got the leathery vibe. It's a little bit more intense. It's like Boss Bottle, 2 or 3 bottles put in one bottle. Okay, so really rich. It's more sweet. It's beastly performance. Easily 8 to 10 hours easy in fall and winter, and even more. So this fragrance is the ultimate goat from this line. People who love intensity, this is the most intense one. Okay, so that's the Boss Bottle story. You can get Boss Bottle Oud. There are many of the other ones out, but mostly the Sport or some of the other ones, there were some misses. Like some of them were not so good. But Boss Bottle, ultimately, if you ask me, I love this the most. The old batches of Boss Bottle with this box. Okay, I love this the most because this one remains with me with a lot of memories. My university life, my student life, my friends. We used to go for drives during the Eid time, holidays, New Year's. I used to wear this fragrance everywhere. That one, and one more is Lacoste. Sorry if you see my room is a bit messy. These were the fragrance I used to wear back in the days. I still have these for memory's sake. Okay, I could not afford very expensive fragrances that time, but these were special to us, right? So Boss Bottle, in a nutshell, the old batches. What I'm gonna say, my conclusion is, if you can find this, good. If you can find the EDP Intense, even better. But I would say there's this kind of like this citrusy apple, nice sort of balance between the two is this fragrance. Mild spices is just the old version is the goat. Okay, and for me this is my most favorite, followed by EDP Intense. So there you go. I talked about sort of like a comparison or discussion. So if you like Boss Bottle, you can take a look. Could be working as a Boss Bottle guide for you. Smell the whole line, see which one works for you. Take care. Have a nice day. I'll try to rush to do the next reviews before there'll be power outage. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.